Hi, Anne-Marie Chantal here once again, sharing some of the notes that I have from the book When Buyer Says No. And today I wanted to talk about how to increase your rapport with potential buyers, right? So building rapport with other people is a skill that can be very well learned. You just, learn how to drive a car, so you can learn just about anything. There are very specific elements to this skill, though. Like there's rules that apply, various strategies to implement those elements and rules. So there's actually two basic methods for establishing rapport. There's the verbal, through meaning is the word we say. And then I'm sure you can imagine if there's verbal, there's also the non-verbal, which is our behavior. So let's get deep into the topic. With the verbal rapport, that method is frequently used by salespeople to establish rapport with the buyers is to talk about a subject of a common interest. So for example, as you enter a client's office, take a moment to glare around, or if you meet with them in coffee shop or go to their house, make a small talk. For me, something I use a lot, if I know that I'm meeting with a business owners and I go to a meeting in a coffee shop, because that's a lot of my meeting, I will start asking questions of like, hey, so this is awesome. You're a massage therapist. How long have you been doing this? What's your story? Why massaging? Like, get to know them. If I go to somebody's house and I see that they have pictures of their kids on their horse, or I don't know, like whatever it is, I'll be like, oh my God, like, where has this picture been taken? This is awesome. Is it your kid? Like, make a small talk. The small talk is a great way to verbally establish that you care and to establish that rapport with people. And obviously they will really, it will just increase your personality into who they are and what, and knowing that you care for them. Now that's almost the easy part, but it's a part that people forget, because you want to ask questions based on who they are and what you know about them, or what you don't know, but to find out without being in an interview, right? Now the second method is the nonverbal rapport. So the nonverbal rapport uh, is basically like the non-action, like the posture side. Like, how do you use your voice and your physiology during the sales appointment will really affect your level of rapport with those potential clients. So your voice, what I mean by your voice is your tonality, your volume, your speed at which you speak. And then your physiology will be your posture, your facial expression, your gesture. So the verbally and non-verbally consistent in the communication is a huge key during a sales appointment. If your word praise the value of the product, but your voice and body communicate a sense of uncertainty or hesitation, your persuasion ability will be very fast dismissed. So here's a great example. I think you should buy this. Are you signing up? Like, no, right? Like, you're not buying anything. You're not giving me your credit card, whatever it is. But if you know you're doing the right thing and that this is the right products or service for your client, tell them and make them feel that you believe that too, right? With your nonverbal, like, yeah, this is a great decision. I'm excited for you, right? Let's get you started. Like, to paraphrase popular saying, your action during a sales presentation will speak way louder than the actual word. And that's what people needs to look into. Hopefully that makes sense. When it comes to some critical points, actually, I'm just gonna read it here on the book itself. But the first critical point, there's 6 key points to establish rapport. It's one is critical to any sales situation to establish rapport before getting down to business. So making those conversation, knowing that you can get to know your people before and getting, like, before you get to business, making sure they know you care, right? And I know you do, so make them feel that way as well. 2 is that when rapport is established, buyer will pay more attention to your presentation. So as you're making small conversation, now you find out, like, yeah, I've been in business for that long, or like some of the phrase I use is like, oh, okay, cool. I'm trying to think exactly of the phrase, but let's say they're like, so what exactly did you want to hear from me and what I do? If you have an appointment already and they want to hear and they're curious about what you do, I love this transition. Is like, what did you want to know? Or what did I say over the phone that made you concerned or made you want to have this conversation today? And then sometime I will also ask often, if not all the time, actually, I mean, we all know someone who got sick or hurt before. Like, have you ever got sick and you missed work, or have you ever broke a bone or got hurt yourself? Or if not, do you know someone? Like, yeah, right? And if they say yes themselves, I always ask about their stories. Why would I ask about the story? Well, I'm also establishing rapport to see what is their concern. So when I bring it back and say, based on what you share with me, I think you're going to really like what I have to show you, to present to you. I have the rapport by now because they know I care. I get to hear from them. They're concerned. So now they're paying attention to what I'm offering them because now the concern is at a different level. Make sense? Number 3 is, unless there's something unusual going on, try to avoid the topic of the weather. Oh God, yes. Don't talk about the weather. Like, it's such a, and I think we talked about it on the last video, like the weather is a boring subject, first of all. And there's nothing that nobody can control. Like, of course, if there's something huge happening, you can bring it up like, oh my God, quite the storm. I'm glad you made it here safely. Move on. Fourth, people don't buy from me because they understood what I'm selling. People buy because they feel understood. And that goes back to getting to know them into a way of knowing more about what's their concern. Why are we sitting here? Like, what is it that I share with you? What is it that you read? What is it that, how have they heard from you? You might have told them everything already over the phone or video, or you met with them. So now that you review everything, what's your greatest concern? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's really asking, like, what is it? Because they don't care that you have all the information if they don't think that that information is good for them. Number 5, rapport must be established both verbally and non-verbally. So obviously, if like, oh, so do you want to buy? The verbal was there, like, you should sign up. But we don't do it like that. Like, it's never that obvious to us. But when we have those hesitation, like, I think you should buy. It's really hard for me to just share the difference on a video right now. Even in person, it would be hard because we do it without even realizing it. And I think one of the reasons why I'm such a top producer in my company is because I believe in what I'm offering to those people into such a strong way that when it's time for them to get it, I'm 100% confident that that's the right thing for them. So when I ask them, like, yes, what plan makes the most sense for you? Or let me put a couple quotes together based on like your 3 to 6% of your gross income to make sure that you get the right protection. I know that I'm going to give them the right plan for them. So my physiology, my nonverbal, my posture, and my tonality is all there for them. But that's something to pay attention because that's a lot of most people's in sales that are lacking. We're at number 6, which would be if your words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're, I thought it was 6 points, but I'm seeing like 9. Anyway, we'll keep on going. If your word praise the value of your products, but your voice and body communicate uncertainty and hesitation, your persuasive ability may be diminished. So same idea, match your buyer speeds and volume of speeds within the first 90 seconds of the contract. So yeah, when you meet with them, you have to look, if somebody speaks very calmly, very slowly, you just need to match that. Go their speed. If somebody speaks loud, you don't need to yell, but speak a little louder than usually, right? And obviously be careful of your surrounding, but when I need somebody who's like, go, 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 I know that this person wants the information in probably 5 minutes. So I have to pay attention to make sure I ask the right questions to go as fast as they're going. And and that speed and tonality and volume of my voice match them. Speak clearly. If your potential client understands only 80 to 90% of what you say, their automatic response will be to say no. So be very clear on what you're asking. Understanding the benefits from symmetrical and asymmetrical posture. So I'm not exactly sure how to explain this, but go read the book and you'll get it. And when buyers follow your shift in posture, that is a solid and important indication that you have established sufficient rapport and they're interested in hearing what you have to say next. This is fascinating. I met this guy and we had such a strong rapport that when he moved and looked at me like this, and I mirror him the same way, like I crossed my leg the same way. I was like on the same side of the table. It was really weird because whatever he was doing, I was following. He knew then that he had my full attention and he had my full rapport, and he did sold me, and it was fantastic, and it was the best thing in the world. But yeah, you don't have to take it to that extreme, but basically it's mirroring. That's the best way to say it. And you might have read it in some books, but if you mirror your potential client to a degree, like you don't have to say the same words and do exactly what they're doing, but once you can get them to move something on the table, like your position, your body position, and they move as well, it's pretty phenomenal. So anyway, I hope you guys had a great value out of this, and yeah, strongly suggest to read the book as well and seeing what makes the most sense, not the most sense, but what you get out of it. So we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.